MightyKeef. Assassin's Creed came out in 2007, and then it was accompanied by two other games that we would now call the Ezio Trilogy. Me personally, I didn't really get into Assassin's Creed until Black Flags. I played Assassin's Creed 1 like maybe halfway through, not even, and got tired of it. Yeah, I disliked Assassin's Creed 1. It was very repetitive, and it was just I was bored. At that point in my life, I was more into, JRPGs, right? Or RPGs, however you want to say it. Black Flags was the first one I played to completion. Loved it. And then I did not play Assassin's Creed again until Origins. Loved it. And then Odyssey. Loved it, but loved it a little less than Origins and Black Flags. And I played Valhalla, and I just did not enjoy Valhalla. I'm gonna be honest. But hey, we're not talking about we're not talking about Valhalla. We're talking about the newest iteration of Assassin's Creed, which is Assassin's Creed Shadows. If you guys are new to how I do reviews, I will not be giving a rating. I'll just be giving you the pros, the cons, and then at the very end, you, the consumer, can make a decision. I will say I did like the game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time. I honestly think that this was the most fun I've had with an Assassin's Creed since Origins, right? So story-wise, I really enjoyed the Ezio trilogy. In terms of gameplay, though, I will say that I enjoyed Black Flags, Origins, and now AC Shadows more. But this is not a perfect game. It's not. Ubisoft definitely tried their best to improvise. Well, not really improvise, but kind of keep what the formula was. Kind of keep it safe. They didn't really go above and beyond when it comes to like making it revolutionary, making it like a whole different world. No, this is honestly more Assassin's Creed. More Assassin's Creed RPG. That's how it is. If you enjoyed Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, you'll probably enjoy this as well. Vice versa, if you did not enjoy those games, I doubt you'll like this one. Unless for whatever reason, there is, the Japanese culture and landscape and environments and themes is enough to kind of push you on the other side of the fence. This title is really just going to cater to the people who enjoyed Odyssey and Origins. I'm going to be honest. And Valhalla, but again, I think Valhalla is the worst of the recent Assassin's Creed just because of all the bloat and stuff like that. Though I did hear that the DLC, Ragnarok and stuff, were really good. So maybe I'll jump into it again once. But let's start. Let's start this little review off. And I always start review games with the first thing you're gonna see, which is the graphics and performance. Graphics-wise, this looks like the best Assassin's Creed. It should, because it's 2025. You're gonna be hearing that as we go on. Performance-wise, when we got to try it out, I did not get to try it out on a PC. I only got a PS5 code, and the PS5 Pro actually was phenomenal. Like it was good. I got some frames drops when it rains in this game. They'll have seasons, but they'll also have like rain time. So it'll snow sometimes, it'll rain. And rain, for whatever reason, it was chugging my PS5 Pro sometimes, right? It almost felt random, right? Because sometimes it would be also good. I played in performance mode the entire time. It comes with 3 modes: balanced, which gives you kind of like, we'll start with quality. Quality is that usual 30 FPS, but you get 4K, high resolution, higher textures, etc., etc. And then you have performance, where it gives you a little bit less. Well, it gives you less resolution. Well, in this one, I actually think they are trying to meet that 4K, that 2160p, all that mumbo jumbo. However, it is at 60 FPS, and I'm always trading off frame rate for graphics. I love frame rate far more than I do graphics, so I'm always going for the performance. And then they have balance, right? So if you have I believe it's a 120 hertz TV, if your TV can output in that, you're able to do balance, which is basically you get the goodies of the 4K, right? But like the quality mode, it's a little bit less quality, but it still looks very good. And instead of 30 FPS, you get 40. But when it comes to the graphics, man, hey, look, these environments look good. The lighting looks good. The shadows look good. When you're in the weather, it looks good. And they did that thing that like a Red Dead Redemption does, where it's like just over the top dramatic stuff that happens for no reason. For example, like snow, you can watch snow melt when the seasons change, which is like cool, but also it feels unnecessary, but it's cool to have. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you're kind of flexing your engine. And I will say this open world is probably the best open world that Ubisoft has ever done. Um, in a lot of Ubisoft games, kind of like I remember Ghost Recon Breakpoint was like the most egregious for this. Unfortunately, Assassin's Creed Origins also suffered from this, and Odyssey suffered from this. Is where they will copy and paste terrain or copy and paste different areas, and that is like I get it, I understand, but I feel like theirs is a little too egregious. Like I'll notice it too much. In Odyssey, I feel like almost every cave or every dungeon looked the same. I was like, what is going on? You know what I mean? There are other games that have come out like Elden Ring and things of that nature where it's like, oh, this is what open world is supposed to look like. I don't know if Breath of the Wild had copy paste assets, but that was also very good open world. But anyways, this one Shadows didn't. If they did do copy paste in areas, it was hard for me to notice. Everything looked good. I mean, the areas had lush environments, vegetation, people, not just in the cities, but just strolling about in the middle of the environments outside. People were attacking. There were interactions with the NPCs, and you could choose to help people or not. It made it feel alive, right? And I think they did a good job. They definitely are going in the right direction when it comes to open world with this game. I think that's it for graphics, honestly. Let's move on to the next thing that you're going to be introduced to, and that's the story. So, surprise, surprise, you've been hearing controversy about the story, about the characters specifically that are in there. Yes, there is a black man in Japan. Oh no. In all seriousness, when it got called out, I was actually like, hey, that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And not because he's black, but because it was a chance for storytelling to have a native Japanese person with their native Japanese culture, their perspective, and they were gonna have it was gonna have a chance to have it contrast with someone who was brought over, adopted into the Japanese culture and and had his own perspective coming in. And I thought there was going to be some very interesting developments with that. You know what I'm saying? In terms of story, in terms of character arcs, I think they could have done a great job. Yasuke is from Africa. He got taken over. He got taken by, I believe, was Portuguese slavers, brought to Nobunaga, et cetera, et cetera. I think that is a very interesting experience that you could also, like I say, contrast with the native Japanese experience, and have those characters kind of like, I don't know, build off of each other from their past or their experience in there, while of course respecting each culture. This review will not have spoilers per se, but I have to say, like, the story did not go as well as I think it could have. It's one of those things, like I said, where you're just playing it safe. And the story in this one was kind of playing it safe. I think there was areas where they could have branched off more with the African heritage meeting the Japanese heritage, and that giving Yasuke more of an identity or a reason to be in the game, outside of just he's in the game. You know what I mean? It is much more fun to play as Naoe because she's an actual assassin. So she can go to the parkour, she can do the stealth stuff, she can, it feels like Assassin's Creed. Whereas when you're playing as Yasuke, it feels like more of like like they tried to do a Ghost of Tsushima thing with it, and he can't stealth. He can do it okay. He can do it okay, and the character himself is really cool, right? In all the scenes he's in, whoever voice act the character, it's all good. It's all the fundamental aspects of a good character are there. The only problem is there wasn't enough story elements of his past to meet with the story elements of Naoe's past for it to like make sense for it all, for him to even be there. There was so much that I feel like they could have done, especially in the feudal era right? And in the feudal era, like that was some crazy times. I'm like some Game of Thrones betrayal, family obsession on HBO esque, like family drama type stuff that was happening. You know, like royalty stuff, backstabbing, and everything. And some of it does go. They go over it. Some of it, right? You do get some of that, but you don't get as much. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by like taking it safe. The story could have used some work. It is definitely passable. It's not a bad story at all. It's not a bad story at all. My expectation, though, was that based off of Yasuke and his involvement and Naoe and the fact that it's in the feudal era, I think that could have been above and beyond. I think this story could have been much more than it was. But for me, the story was about a C. If graphics are an A, story was a C. I'm gonna be honest. We go into gameplay, which is, at least for me, why I even play these games. I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for me. And I think I had said earlier in this video, this is the best combat that Assassin's Creed has ever had. This is the best it just is. When you're playing as the character, not only is it flashy, but the hit collision detection, like on the swords, on the blades, they feel good. They feel like they're actually weighty. You don't feel like you're cutting through paper. There's some action RPGs where it feels like you're cutting through paper. There's no impact. There's no hit stop. There's no nothing. Or there's just enough hit stop in the collision for it to feel like, you know, there's some weighty combat. Or when you're hitting an opponent, there's gore. You know, your dismemberment. It feels good. It just feels good. It feels like it's actually meaningful combat. Which is what saved Yasuke in this for me. Because like I said, story-wise, it was like, bro, you could have done so much with him. Why? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he, at that point, why you put him in? You could have done so much more with him. You know what I mean? And like I said, the problem is not putting him in the game. The problem is him being in the game and not doing anything with him as much as you could have, right? With Naoe. Because I think, like I said, that could have been some great storytelling if you had contrasted the native Japanese person with the adopted one. But again, we're on gameplay. But you know, the sneaking around is really fun. You know, they have what's called you can prone now, right? And when you do that, your hitbox is lowered. You're less visible. I moved all my stuff up to like expert because I just wanted to see like how good the AI was. Like sometimes AI in games, especially stealth games, are stupid. I'm gonna be honest, they're stupid. And in the expert version, you can't just hide anywhere you want. Like they see you much more often, which I did. I tried a little bit in regular and then a little bit in expert. Also in expert, you can't just hide on roofs and no one sees you, right? You actually, they can catch you on roofs as well. So I do think that if you are just a person who's competent somewhat, you should turn your stealth difficulty to expert. There's something called a hideout that you can have. And what that does is you can get a study where you get more scouts. And what scouts do is they help you find things on the map and kind of guide you to what your next objective is and things of that nature. They can get resources for you later on, kind of like it's like a mini colony sim, right? If you ever played any colony sim games, a little base management, you know, I guess to break up the monotony of murdering people. Also has a forge where you craft gear, upgrade your gear, engrave perks into your gear. You know, they're really trying to do more of that RPG stuff in this one, and I do think that this one is the most RPG-ish in terms of decision making. Outside of the dialogue choices, and I'll get into that, I guess, later in my cons section. But yeah, so yeah, in the hideout, you can do various things like upgrading your forge, your study, and other things. Like I said, it's just like a little base building management. I think it's cool, and I thought it was cool. I think they should keep doing that in the future. With Yasuke, you're kind of broken. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I never had a trouble fighting people with Yasuke because like he's just him like that for real. Like he's like this big tank dude. Forget the stealth, forget anything. I'm bashing people's heads in, and that's fun. That is fun. You know what I mean? But like when I play Assassin's Creed, I am more in in the mindset of wanting to kind of stealth by everybody and take people down. In this game, you cannot auto kill somebody. Oh, I'm sorry. You cannot auto kill like elite mobs or brutes or however you want to define them, or bosses, right? All the boss fights, I believe, I remember them being like one on ones. Like you threw hands one on one. The real boss fights. But there is a mechanic. There is a way you can turn auto kill on for everybody, right? So if you're one of those guys who like older Assassin's Creed and you want to be able to just one shot everything with your assassination, that's fine. I do again suggest that you put the stealth on expert though, because if the stealth is on normal and you can kind of like assassinate anyone, I don't think the AI is good enough in normal for it to be challenging for you. So at least in expert, you have some challenge. Like, I've definitely died in expert before, a few times because I'm like trying to be overzealous and stuff like that, trying to get a kill. So it's much more fun in expert, in my opinion, even if you do the one shot. Because I tried the one shot and won. And the thing is, the gear in this game actually like has meaning for a lot of them. Like I've seen uniques. They have a tier of. There's a tier, of course, gray, and then blue, and then green, and then yellow. Yellow being the best, I believe, or no, there's like a unique. I think there is a purple or a pink. I think that's the highest one. But they'll have special things that are tailored to just that weapon, and you can build, right? You can build into a type of playstyle you want. For example, if you want to be that assassin, instead of checking off the thing in the settings where you auto kill, you can build your character up to being able to do that. Take as many health bars. In your perk tree, you can do a lot with the assassination tree to make your assassins do more damage and stuff like that. So there's a lot of room. Like I said, this is definitely the best RPG version of the Assassin's Creed RPGs. So if that's how they want to continue, I think they should eat off this, right? I think this gave you more system choices, right? Not really any dialogue choices, but system choices were much better than the previous Assassin's Creeds. They have little special moves, of course, right? If you hit right trigger and then a corresponding button like triangle, square, circle, X, you'll be doing a special move, which is cool. And then you can kind of build off that because you can interchange them with other moves. Now, as you could guess. Oh, and they're all tailored to each weapon too, so that's cool. So, Naue is more agile, more quick, whereas you'll have Yasuke doing some slam that like bursts the ground or breaks someone's spine in half. And yes, the decapitations in this game are crazy. You also have a mechanic where is your hires. It's like your allies, right? And if you hold left trigger and then a corresponding button like up, down, or triangle, whatever, you can like summon somebody to kind of help you with it. I didn't do it that often because like you don't really need it. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of just like another way to make the game easier. I never really used it. I'm gonna be honest, but it's kind of cool. They come out if you're in a danger or if you're in like I guess. If you're like getting bodied, you can summon it, which is cool. It's kind of like a plan B or plan C or whatever, or break glass in case of emergency type mechanic. And some of them, they have like I forgot her name, but the big girl, when she leaves, she actually creates a cloud of dust, right? And then if you're in that dust, you actually are hidden. So there are multiple reasons why you could use it. I simply just didn't use use it that much. I had much more fun just me versus the NPC. I'm not a necromancer. I don't be doing summonings in this game. In Path of Exile, yes, not in this game. Like I said, dude, I could have the whole video as gameplay with different mechanics. But that's about it. That I can go as far right now. The gear gets really cool and interesting. The way the gears look are interesting. But now for the cons. I've already gone over some. For example, like there was some frame rate drops during the rain. Nothing too crazy, but I wanted to let everyone know that it could possibly drop some in performance during weathers like the rain. I've already gone over how the story could have been better than what it was. Voice acting. And this game is not good. I don't think the main characters, Naoe and Yasuke, they're great, right? The problem is, even though they're great, sometimes the delivery is still not amazing. Voice acting in at times is not good at all. I mean, it's delivered to you with no emotion. It's delivered. I did an English dub. I don't know what it would look like in Japanese dub. I actually thought about playing it in Japanese dub, seeing as though they are in Japan. I may go back and be like, hey, Japanese dub sounds amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't speak Japanese, but it sounds like it sounds good. It just didn't, and mostly it was the NPCs, right? The side quests, the side stuff. And some stuff were so bad that people thought it was AI. People were like, this is AI. And yes, I know there was a lot of like rage bait online or crazy discussions just to hate on something. However, this is a valid criticism about like, it was just not good. Is it AI? I don't think so. I do not think that they did AI, only because this game is on Steam, and Steam has a clause, not a clause, but Steam has like a law in their contract or whatever, where if the publisher has to just announce that there is AI being used in this game. Call of Duty kind of got in trouble for that, and they were like forced to put it on their Steam page, which I believe is still up right now. But before they did not have it up there. It is up there now, as far, from the last I checked. So if you're on Steam and you have AI in your game, you have to tell Steam, and then Steam, you got to put it on your page. And since that's not on the Assassin's Creed page, I can only come to the assumption that they didn't use AI. Now, yeah, it's probably just bad voice acting. Facial animations are still bad. It is 2025, and the facial animations are still terrible. They're just not good. I mean, they are better than before. They're not good. I genuinely think Origins had better facial animation and expression than this game, which is strange. But yeah, the facial animations were just not good. Sometimes they just look bleak and lifeless, and it's just, you know, and you know, that's not an exclusive thing with Ubisoft. It is honestly a lot of Western, not even Western, bro, because Yakuza has terrible expression sometimes too. It's just I don't know. Games sometimes some games just cannot do expressions well, but then you'll have something like Until Dawn that look perfect. I don't know. It's crazy. Just wasn't good. This is post-edit Keef. I can't believe I missed the most egregious con. It's kind of a reoccurring con with Ubisoft and other games as well, but I think Ubisoft does this the most egregious. And that is microtransactions in a single-player game. I had recorded this section already, but like I said in my previous video, that stuff kind of got... the audio got erased, so I'm putting it in right now. Guys, you know the deal. I don't like it. There should not, if the game is full price, there should not be any microtransactions in the game, especially a single player game. I think everything should be unlocked organically. There is a free battle pass in the game. However, again, all the stuff that's in the free battle pass could have just been freely in the open environment where you could just, I don't know, explore to find it in chests, or could be part of a quest line or something. Just don't like, I'll never be okay with like this type of stuff in single player full priced games. And I checked, I got some of the stuff from the actual shop to see if it falls in line with like in-game gear. You know what I mean? To see if like maybe like the only way to get the best of the best is by a paywall. And the in-game gear is still much better than the stuff that's in the cash shop or whatever. So that's, that's that. But it's still good stuff in here, right? It's still good stuff. It looks good. There's good skills with it. And so they definitely incentivize you to get it. Whether you do or do not, that is all up to you. But me personally, I just don't like when they do stuff like this. And honestly, one of the biggest, not really the biggest, but I kind of just have with video games that do this, is that it is an RPG. And RPGs give you choices and systems. How you want to build your character. Do you want to put points into this skill? Do you want to put them in that? Do you want to upgrade this weapon versus that? Do you want to put this skill into this weapon or this skill into that? Do you want to respond to dialogue this way versus this way and get a completely different outcome? That's what I like. I like that. What I don't like is illusions of choice. I don't like that I can put this weapon and it only does a little bit of damage, but I'm supposed to think it's doing more. Thankfully, the systems part of this game seem fine. It's the illusion of choice when it comes to dialogue. This game, I don't like when RPGs do stuff like this, where no matter what you choose, it's just going to be the same result. I genuinely do not like that. I'd rather you just don't give me a choice, right? Now it's Assassin's Creed. I'm not expecting like Baldur's Gate 3 levels of like, world-changing events or consequences from my actions. I'm not expecting that. But if you got RPG in there and you're giving me choices, I would like for them to matter somewhat. There are some choices that matter, like, your allies may like you more or less, and depending upon that, you get different stuff. But there's nothing, as far as I know, there's nothing that changes like how the game ends. There's nothing that changes huge world-changing things. I believe there is one choice that matters. One choice that matters in the entire game. And I was like, okay, well. So it got to a point where I honestly just wanted to go to canon mode, so I don't even have to worry about the choices, because it almost got distracting. Because it's like, bro, at the end of the day, I know this doesn't matter what I say, right? And I almost went back. The thing is, you have to, if you're gonna do canon mode, you have to start in canon mode, which means I'd have to restart all the way from the beginning. But yeah, that was just not it. This is like I said in the beginning, this is a Ubisoft game. This is kind of know what you're getting into, and you know by now if you enjoy Ubisoft games or not. Like, if you don't, then you're probably not gonna like this one. If you do, you're probably gonna like this one, right? If you enjoyed Origins, you probably like this. Odyssey, you probably like this. Valhalla, you're probably gonna like this. It's really that simple, man. It's really that simple. And that's it's really that simple. Like I said, I don't put a point system on this. I gave my pros, I gave my cons, and I just let you know I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time on this game, and if I believe they're gonna have like an expansion, and I'll definitely play it. You guys, let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. I got crazy videos over here. This is my second channel. This is not my skit channel. You can subscribe to my skit channel if you want, which is my main channel. But here, we play games, we talk about games, we review games, and we just have fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you do have the game, let me know what you guys think. If you think it's cool, if you think it's bad, if you, I don't know, just want to be part of the conversation. All right, guys, peace.